So I'm going to check that. And then we will be ready. Here we go. On the site. All right, it shows up that we're live. Cool. Now I'll make it available for everybody to see. Okay, it is public. We're good. All right. So my name is Staci Alden. If you're just tuning into this to identify or learn how to use the studio booking software that we have incorporated at Pro Club to help members book their or reserve their spot in classes and reserve spaces in the pool, reserve court times, and it's going to become a very, very useful tool. So we'll give people some time to make their way in. But as people are coming in, I'll introduce myself again. My name is Staci Alden, and I oversee the group fitness department at the Bellevue Pro Club as well as the Seattle Pro Club. And I have been so grateful to IT and marketing and our front desk team with all of the hard work and testing the software, in incorporating that all the schedules match with what we're offering on our website, and that we are able to launch this come Monday. So we sent out a blog post to our members on Monday or on Wednesday, and we were so happy to be able to introduce you to this program. But today, Sidney and myself, I'll let her introduce herself in a second, are excited to take you through the steps to use this software efficiently. Go ahead, Sidney. Let's hear about you.
Hi guys, I do all of the digital marketing here at Pro Club, and I'm just here to really help Staci and help you guys set up your online studio bookings account. We're really excited to use this software. It's going to be super easy for you guys, and yeah, we're just really excited.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and begin by sharing our screen. So I don't know if Sidney, do you have your screen available, or I can share mine?
Yes.
And while Sidney is doing that, to help set the expectation for you as a member of Pro Club, we'd like to help you understand that studio bookings is simply basically a way for you to reserve your space, since we are so limited with the current phase 2 guidelines due to COVID-19. We are limited in only being able to provide classes for 5 participants in one class at a time for every class that we offer. So we may have 60 bites in our cycling studio in Bellevue, but we can only offer class to 5 people in order to stay within the guidelines that the state has put us under. When we move to phase 3, which I'm saying when because I'm confident that that will happen, then we will be able to increase our capacity to 50% in the studio, maintaining the physical distancing requirements. So the reason we've implemented this reservation system is to accommodate as many people as we can within those parameters and give people the ability to book their classes or reserve their space in advance. So today we're going to go over how to do that. What I'd also like to mention is that this site is completely different from our actual Pro Club site. So when you go to our proclub.com site and you're looking at group fitness classes, what you are seeing is coming from a different place. So in order to reserve your space in class, you do need to go to this site, this studio booking site. We'll show you the desktop version, and we'll also show you the app version. We have some screen recordings that we've included in our blog post from Wednesday to help show you how, where to click to create your studio bookings platform or your account, and then also book a class. So what I'd first like to mention is that you can download the app. There is a studio bookings app, which we'll also be talking about today. But I would also like to mention that even if you are a spouse of someone who may have created a studio bookings account and has the ability to reserve classes, you do need to make another account for your spouse or whoever else in your family may be wanting to book classes. So they do all need their own studio bookings account in order to book classes. So I'm glad we were able to clarify that for all of you guys. And I'll let Sidney share. I can remove myself, Sidney, if that helps.
I have, let's see. Looks like the screen is supposed to be. Can you guys see the screen?
If we hit, I can hit add to stream. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So this is our blog post that we had sent out on Wednesday on how to reserve your Pro Club fitness experience. And from there, we can basically visit the App Store in order to download the Studio Bookings app. It is a blue kind of image with an S and a B on it. And once you enter into that app, there it is right there. Once you enter into that app, you will create an account. So once you guys download the app, the fastest way to be able to reserve your space in classes right now, we would highly recommend that you go download the app and then create an account. And then from creating that account, Sidney, I'll let you play that screenshot. So that's her phone, basically, logging into Studio Bookings. I would recommend push alerts, allowing those things, because when we change the schedule, we'll be able to notify you quickly. So now she is demonstrating that she's searching for the correct studio. So within our Pro Club company, we have these different sites. We have Pro Club Group Fitness Bellevue, Pro Club Aquatics, Pro Club Group Fitness Redmond, which is Willows, and then Seattle. Right now, what's active is going to be Bellevue, Aquatics, and Seattle. So decide right now which classes you're going to be needing to sign up for. If you're a Bellevue person, you're like, I am taking Bellevue classes, I need the Bellevue site, then that's going to be the first place you want to create an account for. If you're an aquatics person, you might have already done this because we've had some lanes available for a while now. Then you would reserve a space in aquatics. You would need to log into aquatics and reserve your space in aquatics. If you are a Seattle Pro Club member or someone who takes Seattle classes, you will want to reserve your space and create an account in Seattle. But you do need to create separate accounts for each one of those sites. So understanding that is going to be very important, and we'll show you how to switch sites in a little bit. But once you have logged into Studio Bookings and you have seen, this is what you would see if you were to click on Bellevue. This is what I would like to see. I'd like to go to Bellevue and take a class. You can see which classes are available that day, but in order to book a class, you need to log in. So we'll hit the login button at the very bottom, that green button that we saw at the very bottom of the page, and then we will enter in our information. So we will hit, basically we want to hit register
so you'll hit
here.
Register here, yeah, to go through. One note on creating the different accounts for Aquatics or for Bellevue or for Seattle, you can have the exact same email address and exact same password for all accounts. They're just our separate accounts themselves. So you'll receive emails once you set up your account for specifically Pro Club Bellevue, and then for Pro Club Aquatics, you'll receive different emails and different account notifications for all of those. But like I said, you can have the same email and same password, so it makes it a little bit easier to memorize.
Great point, Sidney. That's so true. So we are currently going into Bellevue. So we would want to register our account. So here's an example. We'll just watch it be created of our wonderful Dick Knight, our president, creating his account. So he's creating his account, putting in our email address. We want to be very, very specific on the email address you're using. Make sure it's an email address that you're using a lot, because that is going to be a very useful place for you to get notifications, as well as maybe change your password. It's going to be used as a great tool for Studio Bookings to reach out to you. So then we are creating our password. And then once we have put in the information that is required, we will hit the green submit button at the very bottom of our phone. So we're entering in a little more information.
Skip forward a little more.
That's okay. Perfect.
State information.
State. We've all done this before, right, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So now we have logged into to creating our account. So that is our registration of an account. So I highly recommend that you do this as soon as you can to get set up for taking classes. Now the person is about to sign up for class. So they're logging in for the first time once they've set up that account. So now we're logging into studio bookings. Really quick there, if you want to hit pause, Sydney, what we've learned based on our testing of this software is that when it asks you at that point to set up a fingerprint recognition, I would recommend saying no to that because what that does is it'll force you to sign in automatically for that specific place, and it will make it much harder for you pretty much almost impossible to switch different sites. So if you're someone who only uses Group Fitness Bellevue, I would say if you want to make it easier, you can do that, enable that. But in order to switch sites, you're going to have to turn that off in order to switch sites. So highly recommend not activating that feature in studio bookings. Facial recognition, we've identified, doesn't do that, but for whatever reason, the touching, the thumbprint recognition does. Okay, so that would be right there. So we'd say no to that for the book or the touching. So now we're into how you would purchase a package. So we still are offering free classes at Pro Club. So I'm actually so proud of our team. We have over 100 classes that we're going to begin with in our schedule from day one on Monday. So you're welcome to, again, create your account and log in and see what classes there are on the schedule. And then once you click on the class, which we'll show in a moment, you can see who's teaching it, what time it is, and all of that. For studio space that is not illustrated in studio bookings, that is where you can see on the website, or you can visit the front desk, find out where that class is going to happen. But you can find out some of the class information once you're in studio bookings. I would say with those 100 classes that we are offering, we're very excited to have that many to begin with. But as we continue to see which classes are being booked very quickly, we will continue to add to that schedule as much as we can.
And one thing that I don't know if we've touched on yet, but we have set a time limit for how early you can schedule and reserve your spot. And that's 48 hours in advance. So you can reserve your spot 48 hours ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. And you do have to activate your Pro Club membership. This is all illustrated in that blog post, but in order to start taking classes at Pro Club, you will need to activate that primary membership in order to start taking them again. So we still have free classes. So what we will do right now is demonstrate how to buy a class if it is not free. And we're still offering in Bellevue the Group X paid package option, whereas before, if you had taken a yoga class, it was $60 for 10 classes. We still are following that same protocol, as well as offering the drop-in price of $12 for a one-off class. And then our Pilates Reformer classes will also be taking place. The registration for them will happen here, and the same package prices will show up once you log into your account. So Sydney's going to show how she's doing that making that purchase.
So and when you get to your main screen here, so you will go down to the bottom. It's kind of hidden right now, but there is a little storefront icon. So you click that button, and that'll take you to the package options that we have here. From here, you can choose what package option you would like to have by simply clicking Add. And then once you read everything here, please note that the tax is not correct here, and that has been corrected by our team. Hit the bottom and hit Proceed to Payment. This is where you can then enter in your payment method. Since studio booking is a separate business compared to Pro, you will need to enter card information because it's not stored on your member account. So enter in all of your information here, and then this will automatically add those credits to your account. One question you may have is, what if you have a pass punch card? Simply take that pass punch card to the front desk when you come in for your class, and they are more than happy to help to add those classes to your account. So that punch card that you've had in the past does not expire. It just can transfer right over.
Awesome, Sydney. Thank you so much. I did want to let you know, those of you who are here for the live stream, thank you so much for being here. We will answer those questions that you're putting into the comments as soon as we get toward the end of this live stream. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes on those questions. So now that we've shown you how to purchase a package, this is how you would sign up for a class. Go ahead, Sidney.
So here, going into your studio bookings account that you're already logged on to, on this screen here, you can see all of, sorry guys, making this a bigger screen again. So from here, you can see all of the classes that would be happening this day. These were mock classes. There is not a Jared's Awesome class, as much as we would love that. So from here, you can click and choose what class you would like. And then from that screen, it takes you into the About section that Staci was just talking about. So this is where you can find out what instructor's teaching and a little bit more information, such as what time and everything like that. From there, you can click the little green button at the bottom that books it, and then you hit book. One really cool thing that I love about this app is that you can add it to your calendar. So it'll automatically put it into whatever calendar app you use on your phone. So it'll send you a nice little update on there. And then that's it. It's super simple and easy to be able to do this.
Love it. And then the next step we will want to show everyone is that when you actually are reserved for class, you've gotten that spot, that 1 out of 5 spot, we will want to make sure that once you have that reserved image where it's a picture of the class and then there is basically a colored, I think it's orange, reserved symbol. I think it should have maybe at the very end. So where that book class, yes. So it says booked. So when you come to class, our expectation to help instructors check you in so that they don't have to touch your phone or touch any punch cards anymore, or to kind of stay as physically distanced as possible. We are asking that you bring your phone with you to class and show the instructor that you are booked for the accurate class, so that as people come in, the instructor can check in that you were here and you are able to enjoy the class and then be set up to take the class. So now we will show how to switch accounts, because that is so important, so important for you to be able to do if you are signing up for a different class or creating a different reservation.
So this one, we're going to go into your app again. From here, you are going to click the very right side of the app. The little is an outline of a person. That's going to be your About section. From there, you're going to click this log out button at the bottom, and that will log you out of the account. So right now we're logged into our Group Fitness Bellevue account. So this will log you out and it'll take you back to the home screen. From here, you're going to click into the app again, but it's kind of tricky. It's this little button right here that says Switch Studio. So all you have to do is hit Switch Studio, and then this will bring you back to the main screen for studio bookings. Here, again, you'll type in Pro Club, and then choose the different account that you would like to use.
Awesome. And then you would log in once again, once you...
Mm-hmm. And so if you didn't have an account yet for Aquatics, this is also where you could follow those steps again to hit register here and go through that registering process. And then you would have accounts for both.
Awesome. And that is why you wouldn't want to activate that thumbprint tool. If you know you're going to be switching accounts, it makes it almost impossible to switch. So watch out for that. I've heard that's an issue. So so we've talked about booking a class, we've talked about switching accounts, we've talked about how to arrive to the class and attend class. Now we'll address some of the frequently asked questions that we were prepared for this video, and then we'll answer some of the questions that are in the chat. So the first thing is, how early can I reserve a spot to take class? So you are able to reserve a space 48 hours in advance of class. So for example, this Saturday morning is going to be the time that you'll want to have this account, of course, set up, and you'll be able to look ahead to Monday to see which classes you can reserve your spot in. So take a look at the schedule once you've created your account after this video, and if you haven't already, and identify which classes you really want to attend first thing on Monday morning, and then reserve your space. Now here is the important thing to also keep in mind. Since we are so limited on the capacity of who can come to classes, we do need to make sure that we are making sure that whoever's coming to class is committed to attending that class and taking up that spot. So if you are to cancel your reservation within 6 hours of that class, then you will continue, if it is a paid class, to be charged for that class. But you will not be charged any sort of a late fee or a late cancellation fee. If you do not attend the class that you have reserved for, however, if you no-show for the class and that saved spot has now prevented anyone else from being able to take class, that means that you will be not only charged for the cost of the class if it is a paid class, but also charged an additional $15 fee for not showing up. The other thing I'd like to mention is, I actually lost my train of thought. Did I miss anything in that, Sidney?
No, I think that was perfect.
Okay, and then, so the latest you can cancel a class would be 6 hours before.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, can I add? Oh, packages. So we already talked about if you have punch cards that you've already purchased, you can bring those to the front desk and they can discard of them correctly and add those classes that you had remaining on your punch card to your account. So that's the one thing that you'll need the front desk for, but we would like to highly recommend that you are creating your account on your own, that you are adding in your own credit card information. We want to, of course, keep this account as secure as possible. So preventing having the front desk have to do this for you as a member would be very helpful. They can help you with changing your password, and there are ways to do so as well within the app. So it helps you kind of maintain your autonomy as a participant to be able to book and control your ability to take classes. Let's see. And the same thing goes for reformer packages. So we had previously paper punch cards, and bring those in so you can exchange those at the front desk. But we also had, you may have purchased a reformer package. So we had packages of 4, 6, 8, 12, and 14. If I'm remembering right, 16? I think we had 16 as well. So those, if you had already purchased a 16 pack for Pilates Reformer, for example, we had to, unfortunately, of course, shut down the club. You can, of course, continue to use that package. We'll just transfer those credits to this account. So that is another one that you can go to the front desk for, to have those added to your studio booking so that you can start reserving those reformer classes. One quick note on Pilates Reformer I'd like to mention is if that is a class you're really interested in trying, we do ask that you do an initial perfect start Pilates session so you can really learn about the equipment and safely attend that class. So do make sure you do a private session before booking for those.
Staci, I saw a question come through. It's not over on our little sidebar there, but they were curious, are they able to still purchase class packages at the front desk and then they can add those to their studio bookings account?
So we won't be selling the actual physical punch cards anymore to members, but we'd prefer that they purchase any packages for studio bookings in studio bookings. If they have, let's say, a coupon or they have something that they're trying to apply to buying a package, they can, that in that case, they would want to arrive to the front desk so they can take the coupon and handle that on the back end for that particular case. But ideally, we'd want you to be doing this on your own app.
And then, Calvin, I see your question about paper fitness class schedules. At this time, we don't have any paper products at Pro Club, just to make sure that we're keeping everything sanitized and clean. Do we have any paper copies online that we could maybe send over?
We're working. That's such a great question. So we have updated the software behind the website. So if you go to our website currently and you look at the schedule there, that is where you can get all of the information about our classes. And you can actually filter by class, you can filter by instructor. So that's where all of the detailed information will be. If you want to go to proclub.com, Sidney, I'm not sure, we can show them the Class Explorer is what we call it. So that place has been updated. It's, again, not where you would reserve your space, but it is a great resource for what classes are being offered that day with which instructor. However, again, you can't reserve a space from there. And we also are showing, as you can see, Sidney is there, and we're showing our Facebook Live classes as well. So you're going to be able to see what virtual classes are being offered, And we're going to continue to expand the virtual offerings as we build that other platform as well. But this is where you can really see all the different classes that we're offering within the club as well as online.
Yes, you can see the difference here. This one has Facebook Live on the bottom, and then this one's offered in the yoga studio. So location will be where you can see if it's a Facebook Live or if it's a studio class.
Mm-hmm. And then if you clicked on reserve or view details real quick, Sidney, that is also where it will take you if you scroll down to the studio bookings site. So if you copy and paste that link, it'll take you right to the correct site that you'll want to create your account for in order to reserve for that space, that class. Another note on paper products, since we are, as you guys have all experienced in this crazy new world, things are constantly changing and ebbing and flowing. And our instructors have taken a lot of change on in their own lives, their, lack of childcare, their own health concerns. So our schedule is going to be much lighter than it had been in the past. And you may see different instructors teaching at different times, but just be patient. I would ask everyone to be patient and understanding as instructors continue to build their schedules. I am, again, so proud of how large our schedule is initially, but we will continue to change this. So if we did have a paper schedule, we wouldn't be able to update it nearly as quickly as we can digitally for you to see in real time.
Staci, I'm going to throw you another question.
Go ahead.
Are face masks required during fitness classes while exercising, or only required inside the club before and after class?
That is such a great question. So there's two parts to that question. I'll talk you kind of through the entire protocol of attending a class. So the members, as they come into the club, are going to have their temperature checked initially, as well as making sure that everyone entering the club is wearing a face mask. So as you approach the club, you want to, of course, wear your face mask, get your temperature checked. You'll get a sticker or a wrist bracelet that signifies to the rest of our members and our instructors and our employees that you have safely gotten your temperature checked. You'd enter the club and then check in at the front desk so that they know you are, in fact, a member of Pro Club. That's our second security check-in. And then as you make your way to class, you'd keep that face mask on all the way through the hallways, all the way up to the door of the studio. And we do ask that you arrive. Of course, you want to be there in advance of the class, but we ask that there's not a lot of congregation outside of the studio so that we're maintaining that physical distancing. And then we have proper entrances and exits as people come into the studio. So what you would do is come into the studio, you still have that face mask on. The instructor will have their mask on as they guide you into the studio. The instructor will go to the front of the room. You will show them your reservation for class. They'll get super excited to see you because it's been so long and we're so excited for you to be back. But that is where you go to your space. The instructor will have potentially set up some equipment for you so you don't have to touch as many things. And then you will, once you get to your spot, you're ready to go, you've checked in, you can at that point take your mask off while you attend class. When you ever have to leave the studio or move around the studio for any reason outside of that space to use the restroom or to get some water, we would ask that you put that mask back on. So anytime that you're moving around the room outside of that space. The instructors are also under a similar protocol just to prepare yourself as a participant. They are going to be keeping their mask on in their welcome to the studio. They're going to talk a lot about the protocol of the studio, the expectations, and then they are in fact able to also take their mask off in the front of the room to teach you if they find it is necessary. Great questions. And then after the class, the instructor is going to be really specific on who needs to leave first, who can put their equipment back. So we're maintaining that social distancing as participants leave the studio. So I hope that answered your question, Kathy, and I cannot wait to have you back. You're an amazing participant. I would like to mention also, and of course, after class, you're putting that mask on. I forgot that we haven't mentioned wait lists yet. So we may have such a limited number of participants able to attend class, but once you set up your studio bookings account and you see that there's 0 spots available, let's say in cycling on Monday morning, I would highly recommend that you still put yourself in there because you'll be added to the wait list. We have 10 spots available on the wait list. And as soon as someone removes themselves from the class, you will not only get an email, but you also get a push notification, which is another reason I highly recommend that you have been automatically added to the class. So it actually kind of skips a few steps in that you're having to do that on your own. So definitely pay attention to that so that you aren't signed up for a class that you aren't prepared to do so. So it's a great feature because you can add yourself to the wait list, but be aware of the fact that it's going to put you into class when it becomes available. Just kind of plan on that.
That kind of goes along with another question from Calvin. He asked about, is there a cutoff for booking classes, or can they go up until that class time starts?
That is such a great question. The booking is available up until the moment the class does begin. So, and the instructor can even add you if the class has started. So if you don't have the ability to add yourself and you just happen to see, oh my goodness, there's like no one signing up for a specific class, you can, and you don't have time to sign yourself up, but you're pretty sure you're going to get in, you can show up for class and the instructor can add you in. But I would say that's risky. Just prepare that, especially initially with our limited availability, but it is a possibility. They can add you during the class. Another little added policy we have to follow right now in phase 2 with our limited capacity as a club is that we ask that no guests do come at this time. All only members are allowed to enter the facility and to attend class. Was there another note, Stephanie? Was that okay? Perfect. But
did we cover refunds?
Refunds, those do need to happen through the front desk. And I would say in the instance of needing a refund, stopping by the front desk or reaching out is going to be the best way to do it. And then, the next question is good too. How late can we get off of the wait list? So is it possible to remove ourselves? Yes, you can remove yourself from the wait list before the class starts. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'd say how late up to the moment the class begins, you can take yourself off that wait list. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all great questions. I knew you members would think of such great ideas. Perfect. Okay, pro tips. I love it. Thank you so much, Calvin, for your input and your questions. Feel free to continue to reach out to myself and Group Fitness. My email is salden@proclub.com. That's S as in Sam, ALDEN @proclub.com. And I'll put that in the comments as well, and potentially even in the title of this video. But our instructors, I have to say once more, are just so incredibly excited to see you attend classes. They're so excited to teach. We didn't show just yet the reservation system on the desktop, but I will say the process is very similar. Would you agree, Sidney?
Mm-hmm.
And they work very similarly. Currently we haven't seen many differences between using the desktop version versus the app. So it just may be preference, ease of use, what you prefer to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's all. Do we have another question?
I think we have it all covered. And again, like Staci said too, feel free to reach out to us on Messenger as well. We're happy to answer any questions. You can email me at socialmedia@proclub.com, and I'm here to help you guys. We just really want to make this process as easy and simple for you because we know that you guys are excited to get back into the club just as we are. So really anything we can do for you guys, we're here for you. Definitely. All right. Thank you again so much for joining us, you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Oh, you know what? We didn't answer one question. I'm not going to end this yet. Psych. Calvin, I totally saw that question. I didn't answer it. Okay, hopefully no one left. But he had asked if the studio bookings is more of a temporary thing. Yes, that is absolutely correct, Calvin. This is a very temporary kind of Band-Aid situation for reserving spaces. We are working on adopting a new software that will kind of tie everything together in the hopeful near future. So we're working on that very quickly. So great question, Calvin. This is temporary, but we are, it's what we have available for now. All right, now I can say goodbye.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Thanks again.